So hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the garden. Today we're going to do a fun little project. So I am at the back of my garage right now, and it's been a very large wall that I just didn't know what to do with. To the right of me, I have a mock orange that has a clematis running up through it. I also have still have the tags, thank goodness, Sugartina crystallina sweet shrub, summer sweet, that I planted last year. These are two varieties are going to stay, not a big deal, like it. So any of you that are concerned that I'm ripping out an established garden, yeah, I'm changing stuff, and there's going to be a lot of it. I don't mean that like cocky or anything, but if you're not happy in your garden, by all means, change it. I wouldn't put a plant through anything that I don't think it can endure or come back from. It might set it back for a minute. It's whatever. And then to the left of me here is the magnolia. This is pink parchment. I said in the chore video that this only got about 12 to 15 foot tall and about 7 or so wide. Well, I double checked it because something in my head was telling me that it didn't feel right. And I was correct. This tree is actually supposed to get 25 foot tall and wide. So I made an epic mistake of putting it right next to my garage. I'm not going to move it. Yeah, but today we're going to be doing something fun. As you can see here, I have some rungs of galvanized wire. And I strung these up the other day. I set a post, to the left of me with eye hooks spaced about every 12 inches. And then I already had a post over here because we did a partition for the garage to the fence so that we could store stuff back there and it wouldn't be seen. And I did the same thing. Eye hooks with the wire going through them every 12 inches. And then there is a little contraption here, and I will bring you in closer for that, of the tightening mechanism that you'll need. And at the very top, there's a clamp that you'll tighten up, and that will just end your loop from there. So my plan here is not to put something just crawling on it. I'm not interested in that. But I saw this at my client's garden last year, and I fell in love with it. This is a Japanese maple that they have on their narrow side of their garden. It's by the pool. It is gorgeous. It is espalier. It's bonsai. It's sheared every year, which is wild to me. They shear it every year so it does not grow any more bulk on it. I fell in love with it. I actually redesigned the entire gardens around this. It's more meadow planting, but it is so pretty with it. So now I want to do it naturally in my yard, and I thought, how amazing would it be to have this on the back of my garage? Now, I don't have the patience for a Japanese maple. That is a weeping, I think Crimson Queen Japanese maple that was planted there. So I want something that grows a little faster. And in the planting of the Norway spruce, the Cupersina that we just did, I took out the elderberry bush. And when I went and assessed the area before planting that, I was struck, like, how perfect in shape this was already started. It's still a little wild, and we're going to do some pruning on it, but it is flat on the back side because of that willow. So that brings the perfect opportunity to train it on a wall, tie it in, and try to recreate that espalier effect with a plant that I don't think anybody has ever done. I've never seen it. I didn't Google, but I didn't see it. And I mean, how cool it would be. Japanese tree-like as far as foliage, dark foliage, black. How awesome is that? So it kind of recedes and will trick the eye that this bed is a lot, deeper than it really is. We're only about 6 or 7 feet deep on this bed. And then in front of it, I want to continue the meadow planting, which is right across from me, into this area. This area can be a little bit tricky, so you'll see I do have drip line already in here. I actually never got to finishing it because I stopped. This was originally going to be a goth garden section of my garden, just a little vignette. And the plants that I chose for this area are not going to be happy. One, it gets too much sun. Two, It also, for some reason, really dries out. The soil is really, really dense and wet right now, but it, for some reason, just dries out. So we're just going to kind of scrap that plan and go for the naturalistic meadow style because they can handle it underneath. The elderberry can handle it as well, even though I am going to apply some drip irrigation to it just because I want it to establish really well. So let's jump into placing the elderberry and kind of give you an idea. Now, mind you, it's not leafed out. All right, so here is our beautiful black lace elderberry bush. It is very much flat on the back here. This is old potting soil, mulch, whatever you want to call it, that I'm just spreading in here through to add more nutrients. But look how perfect this is going to be. So we've got a good, like 2 options for leaders. We've got areas to tie in. The other thing that I didn't realize when I purchased this plant from the nursery is there's actually 2 plants in here. You can see there's a trunk here and a trunk here. So now my question is, do I split this and make it 2 separate plants? Or do I just keep it together? Because I really don't have another area that my garden can handle one of these. Or do I split it and put it like a trunk there and a trunk over here? I'm thinking that beautiful vase shape to go up on it. So I'm thinking I'm going to keep it together, and then we'll prune out selective stems from here and just tie them in. So I think the first thing, well, obviously the first thing we got to do is figure out where we want it. And I'm thinking, I already had it placed here, so there's no thinking. I want it right here, and I'm going to go ahead and start digging out the area. I know there's an old clay drain pipe through here, and as I've planted, I've taken parts of it out because it doesn't go into our gutters. Our gutters are now like out into the yard. But yeah, there's a good amount of root, so there should be a very minimal shock, and we're going to reduce the plant so that'll help even further. But let's get the boring part over of digging the hole. Well, I got the bush in, and now I took a step back and looked at it, and I'm actually going to divide it. So not divide it. I'm going to separate those 2 trunks. Let me see if I can get a good angle to show you where I'm at here with what I'm talking about. First and foremost, sorry about the noise. They're working on that fiber line out there, so they're digging up the lot next door to, I don't know. But anywho, if you see where this trunk is, this is the secondary plant that was in the pot with it. This branch, which goes up and out, would be removed. Then we have this branch, which is already jetting out. This section is actually, looks to be dead. So I would be cutting this out anyway. This piece can't be tied in. So I'd be cutting that out, which leaves this guy, which I don't think I need it anyway either because we have this strong leader. Then if you come over here, we have this branch that comes out, that would be taken out. Yep, because we don't want them crossing. They would rub and cause infection. And then this one jets out this way, and I've already got a lower branch from the other tree, other part of the bush, that could be tied in from here. So really, this part of the plant serves no purpose to me, and it would not be a loss. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lift the thing up again, take this part out, I'll pot this on, I'll give it to a friend, and then I will reposition this larger portion up against the wall, and then we're going to finally start getting it tied in. So give me a minute. This should be relatively easy. I only tamped it in. Easy. Okay, so that whole plant can now become another plant for somebody else. So word to the wise, if you are planting up against a structure, notice you have an eave. It's about 12 inches. If you're starting with a smaller plant, or you're not planning to do a drip line like I am, plant outside of that so rainfall naturally hits it. And then this will also allow you to not have to run drip line, and you can just do supplemental water as needed. Unfortunately, this section of root did get damaged and broken, so that's unfortunate, but there's still a really good root system here, so I'm not terribly worried. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna tie in the branches that I definitely wanna keep, manipulate the whole thing, and I'm using this Velcro tape. I will try to remember to link it down in the description for you to pick up. I love this, and it's reusable, and it's really easy. You just take a pair of scissors and cut it off what you need. I already have some started from a tie-up that I did, and I released it because you only want to keep things tied up for about a year to harden off. But first, I want to go in and I'm going to take out this dead branch just so it's out of my way. Assess anything else. I don't see any other dead other than these few little branchlets, which they have new growth coming in, but I know I don't want that. So I'm going to cut them off. And then from there, I think we're looking pretty good. So let's select out our branches that we do want to keep. Might have to reduce these a little bit, but first one I'm going to go in with is this lower branch. And I think I'm going to try to get it up to here. Probably going to not even use this lower rung, but just in case later on I do. So just going in with the tape, it wraps in really, really easy. Really, really easy as I struggle. You know what? We're gonna take this lower rung and we're gonna attach it here. I want that tighter. I don't want that. You want it somewhat loose, but you don't want it to, on this section, not rub. So get it as tight as possible. Clearly, I'm doing a good job. I didn't bring these with me. Okay. So we got that first one in. Let's backtrack and grab these. Ugh. And then we're going to move that branch up into here. And we're working with very flimsy branches, which is key to this, because anything that's too hard is not going to bend the way you want, and you risk actually having breakage. So mind what you're doing. Use flimsy branches. If you have to start over, it happens. This is some dead wood, and I want it to stop here anyway, so I'm going to cut that. These shoots here will now branch up, and then we can keep pruning them to get that mounded habit. But you can see I tied that in. It's pretty stable, 3 points. And now we're going to go in for this next branch, which is the big dude. All right, same song and dance. We want to tie in as much as we can. So because this is thicker, I'm going in with multiple rounds. Oof. To get this stable and in place. And you might even have to go in with an X formation to tie it in to keep it in place. Now I kind of want the shape of this in the long run to be, you know, very whimsical looking. I'm not looking for a true espalier. So if something is going off in a different direction, I'm okay with that. This is not a formal garden by any means. All right, and then we're gonna go ahead and tie in here as well. I'm out of pre-cut ones, but I just want to reduce how much sliding's happening in here. These actually might be a little too small. Okay, so the overall, sorry for hitting the mic. The overall height, I'm gonna stop right here, allow this to branch, and then we'll start laying them in, topping them, and we'll allow this to grow at a certain height. Over time, you can choose to just cut off the dead back to a stalk, let it go from there, clip, clip, clip. That's an option. I think for right now, just to play it safe until we start seeing all the new growth and foliage come out, we'll just go that route. I definitely think I want to bring a rung right here maybe, or just leave it at the top. So I'm gonna take a step back just to double check we're doing good here. I'm liking it, I'm liking it. Let's get in on this side and pick and choose what we want to do over here. Oh, part of me really wants to take this section out. So if I remove that, what shape do I have now? This is clearly dead. So I took that out. Where are we at here? Could have a fan shape. I definitely want to bring this lower branch up and then tie it in down here. Yeah, okay, that looks good. I'm gonna do that one. And then we can assess these two portions right here. Or you know what, this one wouldn't cause very much tension on the shrub itself. But I could get this up. All right, we're gonna try that. Okay. Just looking at this portion of this, I think I'm definitely gonna go ahead. Ugh, it's so muddy over here. I am gonna go ahead and take this portion out. In fact, I'm gonna take it back to the trunk to reduce any of these future growths, because I don't want that. Oh, it's dramatic. Oh, it's dramatic. Whew. Okay, now we're left with this. Okay, what do we want to do here? Do we want to do that? Do we want to eliminate it? We've got a really good branching structure already. I actually want to tie this down a little bit further. These will need tied in when they get there. We don't want any crossing, so I think our best bet I think we're gonna have to do it, guys. I think this is gonna have to come out, but if we take this part out, we're losing a lot of height. This one is already practically there. We could take this and it's already at the next rung, or because it's flimsy enough, we could take it and bring it here and actually remove this back section. Which shape do we like better? Decisions. I'm going for it. I'm actually going to keep the front. We're going to tie that in, and we're going to take this back section out. Oh my gosh. I hope I'm not messing this up. Some of you are probably already like, I am so ready for the comment section. If this does not look right, and I don't blame you. You know, the worst thing we could do is, I don't know, but we got to make it quick. There's a big storm coming in. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay. Yep, that's done. That's done. Let's get this sucker tied in. All right, so I really think this is gonna come out really, really cool in time. Again, I left this top piece loose so that it will continue to grow, and then we're gonna go ahead and tie it in over here. We have this top piece. These are gonna fork branch. We'll layer in 2 more branches probably here, and then start creating kind of a dome or spreading effect. Same with here. I want this part to be a branching dome section. But down here, we'll start clearing off the branches because we want to see trunk, and we want to reduce the amount of extra sprouts coming up. From over here, we'll then create another cloud dome effect. That would be more of what it is, a cloud effect. But by doing this, I kind of sagged my line, so I'll have to tighten it up a little bit more if I can. And we'll just pan over here real quick. You can see it's getting pretty gloomy and it's moving in fast. But before we do, look how beautiful this pink parchment is. They're on their way out, but they have made such a beautiful display, and they've been so, so fragrant. In the garden, you can pretty much smell it anywhere from front to back. If you're questioning about this post, I will be painting it the same color as our garage, this dark gray, to help blend it in. But this is going to be really fun. Let me back out a little bit further so that you can get the overall effect of it. I'm excited. I'm gonna do a new layer of shrubs through here. I think in and around, maybe something more manageable in height-wise and shape. And then we'll go in and pepper in a really good layer of meadow-style plants and grasses and such like that to really elevate that blooming time. The great thing about these black elderberries is you do get blooms on them, but unfortunately they bloom on old wood, not new wood. So as we prune, we'll probably not be getting any of the blooms on them, which is not a big deal to me. But I've got some stuff to pick up in here. Time to put my tools away and get inside before this storm really happens. All right, guys, so I hope I inspired you maybe to try something different, use a unique plant to create some attention-grabbing effect in your garden. And of course, I'm going to be updating you on it, and we'll be doing some maintenance on it as well. So I'll take you through that process. But what a fun, interesting project to add to your garden today. All right, we'll see you in the next video. Bye.